Do you have any advice for a bolter?
Horses that want to bolt off are obviously using the reactive side of their brain. So my first recommendation for you is you need to go get the horse using the thinking side of his brain on the ground before you ever get on. Because this bolting is definitely a dangerous issue here, okay? But let's just say, for example, you do, I've had training horses in the past, lots of them, that you get them quiet and comfortable on the ground, and then you go ride them around, and they may even be good there for a little while, but then you find one little thing, one little hot button issue. You get some ex-barrel horses that are like this, that you might just, for whatever reason, you might go ride them by the arena gate or go ride them in the arena, and that old kind of habit comes back of, I don't want to go in there, and they'll grab a hold of the bridle and bolt off. Lateral flexion is the key here. Any kind of lateral flexion, you need to be doing one rein stops, yield to hindquarters, yield to a stop, bending transitions, is going to be the key to getting this under control. Because when a horse is bolting off and panicking, there's no amount of pulling on two reins that's going to get that horse to stop and slow down. He's going to stick his head upside down, start getting his head way upside down over the top of the saddle horn, and he's got all the leverage over you. It's two arms pulling against 1,000 pounds. This is not a tug of war you're going to win, okay? So, a couple of things. I'd be riding him in a smaller area to begin with. I might have to start a horse like that out in a round pen. And I'm going to go work on my one rein stops in there every 10, 15 feet. I need that horse to understand when I pick up on that rein, I can bend you around and shut these feet down anytime I want to, okay? Yield the hindquarters is going to be a big part of my program. Because anytime a horse wants to bolt, it means that he's balanced. If a horse is bucking, bolting, rearing, and running off across the arena, it means he's balanced. Meaning he's got all 4 feet spread apart and he's ready to do work with it. When you yield a horse's hindquarters or you disengage, it'd be another way to say it, it's like pushing in the clutch on the car. He may be redlining, but we can't really move anywhere, okay? When you disengage a horse's feet, you take him off balance. So he can't buck, bolt, rear, or take off on you if you've got his hind feet disengaging. So I'd make that a regular part of my rides every single time. So I might take him in that round pen, walk him off 10 feet, disengage that hindquarters 360 degrees. Flex him to a stop, walk off 10 feet, disengage that hindquarters. I want him to know, don't even think about it. At any time I want, I can take these feet away from you and get you to disengage and give me your face. Give me your face, but more importantly, give me your feet. See, even the one rein stops, we get very hung up on, we're bending the horse's head and neck. But what you find, as soon as you do a one rein stop, watch what happens to the horse's feet. When you pull them around, they spin around in a little circle and they do what? Disengage the hindquarters. That's why that lateral flexion works so well. See, they're bigger and stronger than you are, but you need to be smarter than they are. So don't have a tug of war in the way that he wants to have it. We often give the analogy, we say it's like if I stand here, if me and my mother stand here and we have a tug of war, chances are I can drag my mother to me all day long, okay? I'm bigger and stronger than she is. But I'm stronger than she is, but she's smarter than I am. So instead of having a tug of war head on where she knows I've got the leverage over her, every time I say, okay, let's pull on each other, she runs around the side and pulls me off balance. And then I say, okay, well, let me pull on you over there. And she runs around the side and pulls me off balance, okay? And you keep doing that over and over again. This is not an overnight thing now. Don't think that I did one session of this. I yielded his hindquarters 5 times, Jeff. That's what you told me. He's going to be good. That's not the case. This is a habit. And you're gonna have to start a new habit in his mind. When you do something to a horse once, you plant a seed. When you do it a second time, it starts to become a habit. When you do it a third time, it becomes an ingrained habit. He's got an ingrained habit of grabbing the bridle and bolting off, okay? Think of this like a real deep groove in his mind. Your job is to start a new groove in his mind. So one day of yielding the hindquarters and one day of doing one rein stops in the round pen and lateral flexion in that round pen is a little shallow groove. That's not even close. If he's bolted off 100 times, you're going to have to do 1,000 reps of the other to start a new habit in his mind, okay? So right off the bat, if he's bolting, my first thought for you is you don't need to be getting on him. You need to be getting him to respectful and using the thinking side on the ground. If you've done that and this is still just something that's a habit, it's been going on for a little while, then you need to be doing a lot of nothing but lateral flexion, and you need to be doing it in a more controlled environment. Don't take this horse out on the trail where if he goes to bolt off, you're having to worry about him running out in the highway or running off in the trees or running through the neighbor's fence. You need to do it in a location that if you have to pull that rein around to get him bent around, if he, theoretically, if he runs another 100, 200 feet without bending around, you're still relatively safe. You're on good ground where you're not worried about him slipping and falling over and hurting the both of you. Okay, so that would be my advice to you in this particular case.
Take your horsemanship to the next level. The No Worries Club Premium membership is your ultimate portal to complete your horse training. You'll have access to Clinton's complete training library, thousands of hours of step-by-step instructional videos. You'll master all aspects of horsemanship, from fundamentals to trick training. You'll have access to our exclusive social network that connects you with thousands of dedicated horsemen from around the world. You'll have the method available wherever you are and accessible through the web, your phone and tablets, or your favorite streaming devices. You'll receive 8 all-new training videos per year and the quarterly No Worries Journal, as well as access to the ever-growing video library, Q&As, performance horse series, blogs, and more. But that's not all. You also get free tickets to walkabout tours and priority access to the latest news coming from Down Under horsemanship. Not to mention VIP pricing on all of Clinton's must-have training tools. So what are you waiting for? Unlock the ultimate access and jumpstart your training program today.